Hello students, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to talk about Wildlife Protection Act, but it would be a very quick wrap up of whole Wildlife Protection Act. Basically, it would be only the important points which I am going to discuss from exam point of view, and it is also going to cover last two problem questions are discussed here with respect to Wildlife Protection Act at the last of this video. So please check the video till the end. Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Basically, wildlife means wild animals plus wild plants plus wild flowers. So what is the word wild meaning here is there is no human intervention. So they are non-domesticated. They are not domesticated animals. It are not non-domesticated animals, plants, fungi, other organisms in area or in such area or wherever there is no human intervention. Wildlife Protection Act came into force on 9 September of 1972, and of course for protection of wildlife it extends to whole of India and it has 6 schedules. So Schedule 1 and Schedule 2, it is providing the list of animals to which absolute protection, or to wildlife basically, to which absolute protection is provided to this wildlife under Schedule 1 and Schedule 2, and the prescribed penalties are highest. Then coming to Schedule 3 and Schedule 4, the protection of species penalties are much lower as compared to Schedule 1, Schedule 2 wildlife. Schedule 5 talks about animals which can be hunted. Those are such animals or pests, you can say, that destroy the farms or maybe that causes some diseases or spread of diseases. So which are these animals? Crow, fruit bats, rats and mice. Schedule 6 talks about prohibited cultivation and planting of specific endemic plants. So these are the 6 schedules. You have to remember that 1 and 2 schedule, wildlife mentioned in 1 and 2 schedule is having highest importance, followed by 3 and 4. 5 contains animals that can be hunted, and 6 talks about specific plants, specific species of plants. Important definitions. Generally definitions come for 2 marks, so definitions are important. What are animals? So animals include amphibians, birds, mammals, reptiles and their young ones or eggs also. Animal article means any article which is made from any captive or wild animal. Hunting. Now whenever hunting question comes, generally it comes as a short note, so you have to start with defining the hunting and then discuss section 9 of Wildlife Act. Or if it is a 2-mark question, you have to describe what is hunting. So hunting basically includes capturing, killing, poisoning, trapping, injuring animals, birds or reptiles, disturbing or damaging their eggs or nest of such birds or reptiles. So it also includes damage to eggs and nest. Okay. Trophy. What do you understand by the word trophy? Trophy means any animal article, whole or part, which has been preserved. So generally there are many different animal articles you must have seen in olden cinemas or something like that, that the antler horns are there, or skin of some animals are there, or some feathers are there of some animals. They are preserved in a way that they don't decompose. All those animal articles or parts of animal are known as trophy once they are preserved. Any animal part which is not undergone the process of preservation, this process is known as taxidermy. So what is taxidermy? Taxidermy is a process by which animal article can be preserved for long period of time. That is also known as curing. So curing. So taxidermy process, a particular animal article has not undergone this taxidermy process would be uncured trophy, and the one which has undergone this taxidermy process would be a trophy. So these are 2 different definitions you have to remember. Wildlife. So wildlife is any animal, bees, butterflies, crustacean, fish, moths, aquatic or land vegetation which forms part of any habitat is wildlife. Vermin, I have already told you the animals which are specified in Schedule 5. Those are pests or cause nuisance to any farms, agriculture or spread diseases to human or livestock. All those are vermin. So vermin would include any crow, fruit bat, rats, mice, etc. Coming forward, objectives or salient features. Remember, first of all, prohibition on hunting of specified wild animal, birds and plants. Then setting up and management of national park and wildlife sanctuaries. And third is control of trade and commerce in wildlife and wildlife products. So these are the salient features. Generally salient features and authorities appointed come together as a question. So what are the authorities appointed under Wildlife Protection Act? Central government appoints Director of Wildlife Preservation, Assistant Directors of Wildlife Preservation and other officers and employees as may be necessary. And state government appoints Chief Wildlife Warden for a state. Then wildlife wardens, one each in each district. This is an honorary position, and other officers and employees as may be necessary. Wildlife Advisory Board. So it is now Wildlife Advisory Board is constituted by state government in each state. And what are the functions of this state? Wildlife Advisory Board advises central government in following matters. So which are those matters? First, areas that were to be declared as sanctuaries, national park, closed areas and their administration. Secondly, formulation of policy for protection and conservation of wildlife. Amendment to any schedule. Harmonizing the needs of tribals and dwellers of the forest. So suppose any particular area is declared as a national park or closed area or a sanctuary. What are the needs of tribal or dwellers, those who are staying there? How is going to harmony is going to be brought? It is taken care by Wildlife Advisory Board and any other matter referred to by state government. So if you have studied how is the procedure for declaration of sanctuaries, how are the needs of these tribals or dwellers are harmonized, you must be knowing that this is taken care by Wildlife Advisory Board. Coming forward to most important topic is hunting. Section 9 talks about hunting of wildlife animals. So hunting is prohibited under Wildlife Protection Act. Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4. All those coming under Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4. All these wildlife, hunting of these wildlife is strictly prohibited. What is the punishment? Imprisonment up to 3 years and fine or rupees 25,000 or both. So either imprisonment of 3 years, either fine of 25,000 or both. But if such hunting offence is committed in a sanctuary or a national park and it is with respect to any animal which is mentioned in Schedule 1, imprisonment can go up from 1 to 6 years and fine not less than 5,000 rupees. So here imprisonment plus fine, it is not or option like general punishment in general cases which we discussed just above. Hunting is permitted in certain cases. What are those cases? If animal has become dangerous to human life or disabled beyond recovery. So this is the first thing, where animal has become very much dangerous to human life, it is disabled, it cannot be recovered. In such case, hunting is permitted. Killing or wounding in good faith in defense of oneself or any other person. So if I am going to a walk to your hills and if there is a person or there is a leopard who is attacking me or anyone who is with me, and if I kill or wound that particular leopard, it is in defense, then it would be allowed. So hunting is permitted, but you have to remember that this animal which is killed or wounded in defense of any person should be a government property. So I should not take away that animal wounded or killed animal with me. In that case, I would be accused for hunting or I would be punished for hunting. But if I am giving that particular dead body of that animal to government, handing over the property to the government, so it would be understood that I had did this in defense. Remember that. There is also grant of permit for special purposes. So hunting is also allowed for some special purposes like education, scientific research, scientific management, collection of specimen for zoos, museum and similar institutions, derivation, collection or preparation of snake venom for manufacture of life-saving drugs. Sorry. But here previous permission would be required when there is a permit for hunting. So when any hunting has to be done with respect to Schedule 1 wildlife, then previous permission is required from central government. And if any other wild animal from other schedules, that is 2, 3, 4, then state government permission would be required. So in case of Schedule 1, central government permission is required, and in case of any other 2, 3, 4 schedules, state government permission is fine. Coming to situation based problems, I have already told you that how are you going to solve the situation based problems. I have also uploaded a video on how to attempt those problems. You go through that video. And now coming to this particular problem, so I'll just go through it. A group of hunters entered into a sanctuary with hope to enter illegally and succeed in trapping a few wild animals for earning gain on sale of hunted animals. They were carrying sharp weapons, matchboxes, kerosene, etc. Question first is, what are the rules for authorized entry in the sanctuary? Second, what action will be taken on said group for carrying sharp weapon, matchboxes, kerosene? Third, trapped animals are whose property? So understand the situation. Hunters with an intention to trap few wild animals have entered into a sanctuary illegally. First point. And they are carrying sharp weapons, matchboxes, kerosene also with them. Now how to answer all those questions one by one. What are the rules for entry in sanctuary? So first and foremost, we'll refer to section 27, which says that restriction in sanctuary. So there is a restriction on entry into a sanctuary. Who all persons are allowed? If it is a public servant who is on duty, he is allowed. A person who is already been permitted by Chief Wildlife Warden or any authorized officer to reside within the limits, then he is allowed. A person who has any right or immovable property within the limits of the sanctuary, then such person is allowed. Any person passing through the sanctuary along a public highway. You have seen that in India there are many sanctuaries and many public highways which pass through these sanctuaries. So anybody traveling through that public highway, the entry is allowed. And dependents of all the person which are referred to above, like any person residing there who is having an immovable property and all those people. So basically the entry in sanctuary is restricted. Only these people would be allowed. So first question sorted. Second question is asking about what action will be taken for carrying sharp weapon, matchboxes, kerosene. So section 32, which talks about ban on carrying all such things. So kerosene or any explosive material or any such thing won't be allowed to be carried in sanctuary. It is illegal. There is a clear ban, and such person would be punished by the appropriate authority. Then third point, the trapped animals is whose property. Before going to that, along with 32, we will also have to discuss section 51C, which says that either Chief Wildlife Warden or Forest Officer or public officer not below the rank of sub-inspector can try any of such offence which is committed. So since there is a ban, there is a illegal entry under section 27, there is ban on weapons and still this group of people are carrying those. So there is ban on these weapons. So for these offences, either these three of the people are going to try such offence and punish accordingly. What would be the third question answer? Trapped property or trapped animals are whose property? So let me tell you, trapped animals is of course going to be a government property. Apart from that, any explosive, any material which is obtained, which is claimed to be used for such act, which is punishable under Wildlife Protection Act, also would be the property of state government. So first case law here, state of UP and another versus Lalu Singh, 2007 case law. Here court had said that only mere seizure of property won't taking the property or finding the property with that person won't be or directly become the property of state government, but there should be reasonable grounds to believe that this particular weapon or this particular property has to be used or was supposed to be used or was used for hunting or trapping of those animals. So there is a reasonable ground to believe. Of course, now kerosene and all other things, generally why general public would carry that? So of course this would be a property of state government. Second case law, state of MP versus Madhukar Rao, 2008. Here it is said that magistrate has powers of granting interim relief. Interim relief can be release of the property which was confiscated, but this shouldn't be made compulsory. So there is no obligation on the magistrate that he should release the property which was confiscated. This is just an interim provision under the CRPC where release can be done. So this was the case of state of MP versus Madhukar Rao. So this was the first situation. Mr. Mahesh enters into a sanctuary and is accused of killing an elephant. Does Wildlife Protection Act permit hunting? Explain when hunting is not considered as an offence. So this question is a single line question. No facts are there, only elephant is there. Elephant comes under schedule 1. If you are not knowing a particular animal which is coming under schedule 1, 2, 3 or 4, you just write that if this particular animal is falling under schedule 1, what would be the consequence? Falling under schedule 2, 3, 4, what would be the consequence? So if you don't know that elephant is falling under schedule 1, you can write that since this offence or is of killing an elephant in a sanctuary, and if elephant is falling under schedule 1, then it would be 1 to 6 years of imprisonment and 5,000 of fine. If elephant is falling under schedule 2, 3, 4, then it would be 3 years of imprisonment. So this is what you have to say. But let me tell you, elephant falls in Schedule 1. Now the question is, does Wildlife Protection Act permit hunting? Of course, no. Answer is no. So quickly write, see, as per section 9, hunting is prohibited of all Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4 animals, but it would be not considered as an offence in following cases. So the just which we discussed under section 9, you have to write the 3 cases where it was done for self-defense, or where it was problematic, or it was a danger to human being, that is why hunting was done. So all these things you have to write. Basically section 9 is asked in this problem question 2. So this is a general one-liner question and you have to discuss the provisions of section 9. So basically you have to discuss hunting. This is all about this particular problem. I hope this video finds you well. I know this is the time which is very late I have posted this video. Tomorrow your exams, but keep studying. If you get time to do follow this video. If you have some 15-20 minutes, you can definitely, this video would be useful to you. And sorry for the delay. Please stay tuned to the channel. Okay. All the best. Perform well. Bye.